Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is going to be a 1v1 from a long time ago, played in 2012 between myself and Risk. And we're here on Desert, and we've got Risk here as the purple Gungans, sort of surrounded by hills, not looking like the best sort of spawn, maybe wants to be on the aggressive with spawn like that. And myself in the blue, playing as the Confederacy here. And as you can see by all the nerfs that are making their way into the nursery there, that we've got a big nerf map here, so up to about 16 nerfs, which is going to give us a lot of passive food income when we get them nuzzled into the nursery there. You can see the workers going straight into Carbon just to get the second nursery up as soon as possible and get all that free food for free. And from here, it looks like there's a dewback that we can go up and get for a little bit more food, so another 340 there, and then it looks like we're going to have to do some farming unless either of us want to go and grab all of these EOPs here in the centre of the map. But let's face it, probably a bit far away. I could say Risk could maybe go for that, and then, you know, like be aggressive and push me away from this position so you can finish up eating all these EOPs, but both players might just want to get some farms down, farm towards our carbons and build some nice walls around it and keep it safe. Look at that. Not really much to say at this point. There's a carbon processor going up, because there's just the one lure. It's going to slow down a little bit in terms of us getting to T2. We're probably going to have to build a good few farms just to make up the deficit and get that 500 food. You can see Risk scouted this out, but it doesn't look like he's got any intention of heading over that way. Dewback being lured to the command centre, just so the workers can have absolutely no downtime when they walk to garrison the food. There's a lot of watchers in this game, somebody called White Shadow, I'm not too sure who that is, and then Old Unholy there. And they're just sort of chatting away, distracting me as I play here against Risk. Don't know if I maybe try to teach them things or just sort of learning the game. That's a lot of what we would do, is people would just sort of watch the 1v1s by cooping. Cooping being just selecting the same colour. You'd have control of everything, but they would ask you not to do anything, not to scout or anything like that, or delete units or build units or anything. You can see all the farms going down here towards the carbon. Risk could be getting some farms himself. He's already on the way to T2. Maybe cut some workers here, going for some big balls, super fast rush here. To 20 workers. I think we were maybe a little bit later in getting the dewback, so we didn't really have the same option that he's had, but I think he's really got a very tight build here. He's about to hit T2 now. He's got his troop centre already up in the power core. We haven't even started our troop centre here. Could spell disaster. See those little glurglings doing their weird building animation. Power core goes up. Getting a cheeky disclaimer in the chat there so people don't think I am the worst player ever. Saying it's my first 1v1 in a long time. Classic kind of rhetoric you got to get out there just to make yourself feel better in these stressful 1v1 situations. You can see that both troop centres are up, and it looks like Risk's done both of his researches, and now he's just going to spam troopers 2 at a time out of these troop centres and try and get the rush pressure on us. But there's an okayish distance between us, and we've got to go over the hills and stuff, and we've got the troop centre and the power core up, and we hit T2, getting the turret. The window is a lot shorter than it looked like it would be, and I think it's mainly because of these nerfs and all the food coming from these nurseries just picking up the deficit there. And second troop centre going to come down now. And we're just building up actually quite a lot of troops rather than just sort of rallying them out 2 at a time. I could have maybe gotten the pressure on us a little bit sooner here. I know that if he'd done that, I'd be a bit worried about getting the second troop centre up. Because it's sort of exposed, it's almost the most outside part of the base here. Might be contested a little bit by the troopers that are coming in. And Risk looks like he's having to put down some farms and stuff and sort of catch up with his economy, because I think we're going to have a bit more workers than he has. At least have those workers earlier than he did, so they pay off a little bit more. So it's on to him to get some damage onto us here. And we built the second carbon processor. It's very wide arc, it's what I needed. We didn't really want to build it there where his troops are there, but he can stand behind the forest here. I'll slow it down a little bit. Now that the action's coming thick and fast. You can see he can harass the workers behind the carbon lines. We have to sort of micro them away. This one's going to go down, unfortunately. But we are using that to sort of keep him in this position because we want to clean up these troopers. So the troopers that we built from the 2 troop centres coming around to flank this position. And he's boxed in here with a cliff and the prefab shelter wall. I'm going to clean up that force. Back at home, he's dropped the war centre. He's got a lot more troops coming our way. We've got a bit enough to defend though. We've got quite a nice little base here because we're right up against the edge of the map. It's almost like we've got a free wall here, you know? So we can just place the buildings towards that edge. And they've sort of formed like 2 parts of a wall. And I'm going to collide here in the centre of the map. At +1 just kicking in now for Risk in the middle of this fight. See if we can make a difference here. It was fairly even amounts of troops though, so it just looks like a Pyrrhic victory for myself. Not really much to be gained from there. 2 troopers are not going to do any sort of harassment damage, so it's just like a reset for both of us. But we've got a lot of farms down, we're feeling quite safe. Look at this sneaky turret that these 2 little glurglings have managed to do. This just almost sneaked past me. Even sort of hidden on the minimap because the colour matches the ore. Maybe this is why Risk has always wanted to go purple. This is what it's been all about. This one moment here. He loves to hide amongst the ore with his purple workers. But he didn't fully get off the wall here. And he could have. He could have walked into this spot. He might have trapped the workers, but he would have gotten the a second prefab and just destroyed any surface area. And the workers have got some good bonus damage against these turrets, and you can see that they're just sort of punching it to death. The turret is contributing to this fight, and these troopers are trying to get in here, but there's not a huge amount of them. And though this is causing a bit of disruption, it's not really granting him a win or anything like that. He's kind of just losing this turret. And even if he tries to kill some of the workers, there's a lot of them just waiting there to get their turn. And it looks like the turret is going to go down here. At the same time, I've got the scout being annoying on the Nova. Lots of disruption and lots of things just distracting me from playing a great game here. Well, Risk is just loving it at home, not had any aggression come his way as he plants down his second tech level building to try and get to T3 here. We got some troopers, but it doesn't look like we feel like we can go on the offensive. We're just playing this defensive game here. Get a new carbon processor. And we're going to take down that annoying scout that's been troubling this Nova carrier for a great deal of time. And you can see the food here climbing up for Risk. He's looking for that T3, and ourselves, we're a lot further ahead in that regard. But we haven't blown any upgrades on the war center techs or anything like that, but we don't have our 2 buildings yet. And probably going to be looking for that now. Definitely need to get a spaceport here. Put some of this excess food to use. Grab up some little bits of carbon or some Nova and get ourselves off to T3. You can see Risk coming in here with another force of troopers towards the Nova now. Because he knows that that's probably the least defended part of my base from everything that's been going on. He knows my troops are sort of hovering around this area. Or out in the map. And he's going to catch all these workers at the Nova, and 4 workers going to go down there for us. Feels bad, man. Maybe it's just 3. I thought I had about 4 on the Nova though. Don't know where the other ones ran off to. And the spaceport going to complete. We're going to lose all these troopers, and now the farmers are under duress here. We are going to get that mech factory up, please. No, okay, 99%. That's a bit of a cock block there. That's stopping us from clicking the button to tech up. Might want to throw a worker out there or grab this guy and just send him over for one tiny little bit of work here. And I think Risk should be on his way to T3. He's almost halfway there now. He's getting a nice little lead here. What were we doing? I don't know why we don't just finish this. This is some weird decision making. We're going to just build another mech factory. I don't know if this is some sort of flexing, but off to T3 we go here. And we can have the 2 mech factories up, he does as well, but he's way ahead of us in getting to T3, so it's going to be a window where we're going to have to defend. And double war center apparently. I feel like all this antics have melted my brain here. Maybe we're going to go for some quick, heavy upgrades for the mechs, who knows. But we've still got these troops out here, and we were trying to send these troops out to be aggressive, but we're going to pull them back, because I don't really want these walking into the carbon. It doesn't have any turrets at the moment, and we're not T3, we can't rely on strike mechs coming out. And we need these troopers to come and deal with this force. And a few workers going to go down, and these guys have just snuck behind them here. Need to maybe split them out, I don't know. What are these troopers doing? And the strike mech going to come down there, so there's a lot of pressure, wave after wave here to deal with. And now the strike mechs are coming in, but we are T3. And see what the first decisions are going to be out of these mech factories. It's going to be strike mechs, interesting. A lot of workers are maybe going to go down here. It's all falling apart. A lot of pressure on us here. A couple of troopers hidden in these troop centres, but we are just building strike mechs. Not looking to get any mech destroyers. It feels like a lot of workers are dying here. And maybe should have just bit the bullet and gotten 2 mech destroyers out. It looks like we're doing that now, but at the last possible moment. And a lot of workers have died, and all these guys going idle now as well, and some of them are like low health. A lot of upgrades out here for both of us. We've got similar ones. You can see the strike mechs are just rallying and rallying across, causing a lot of pressure. So repairing the strike mechs as well. So we've definitely invited this though by never really being aggressive or counter-attacking in this matchup. Just letting Risk sort of play as he wants to. He's got like another command center hidden over here for this one. So what he can do now is just fall back onto these command centers and just get a big worker lead with what he's already gotten from the ones that he's killed and the disruption he's caused. And then maybe a little bit after that he could place like a forward base down. But it looks like we're starting to use these troop centers still. Getting some mounties, and with all these mech destroyers that we've built to counter the army, are maybe going to look to put some counter pressure on. And, you know, sometimes this can catch your opponent off guard, but we could look and see this as being sort of all in at this point. Because he's got the 2 command centers here, the worker count's climbing, and we need to really get some pressure onto him immediately. And he's dropped the air base here to get some fighters, and the fighters are really going to help when he switches to being more defensive now. It looks like we've respected him a little bit here and kept the mech destroyer at home, just to deal with the pressure here. But this fighters are going to start really helping against the mounties and stuff, but we've got his army sort of caught here, and they are going down quite quickly. And one of the mech destroyers is going down, we want to get the other mech destroyer as well. Try and out-micro this army as much as possible. It doesn't look like there's any window for us to put down a command. We could definitely afford a command center maybe. We're still being aggressive, and I think what Risk could really be doing here is just getting out a bomber, right? Because there's no anti-air with this army. And we're going to try and trade as cost effectively as we can while we've got the superior mech destroyer numbers, and it's great when they pop out like this so we can just sort of spawn kill them. That's going to help us catch up a bit in this game. Command center dropping now. But what we must say is look at how many workers are around these command centers. I do think the bomber could be out now and really like making this difficult to micro with this army. It's kind of past the point where it can retreat from this position, and it just needs to do as much damage as possible here. Great thing about this little hidden command center down here as well is it sort of gives a false perspective where Risk's at in terms of his economy. And he's popped out 4 mech destroyers there, so he's kept 2 in the mech factories. Pumped them all out while he's now got a numbers advantage. And we are going to see this base down here. It's maybe going to give us this perspective now that we are really far behind at this point. So that all cleaned up. Not much to say about what's going on here, but the fighters are going to come in. Make some anti-air troopers. Make some turrets somewhere. And the air troopers are going to take that fighter down. And then the counter attack now. As you're trying to get these command centers, you can see that when the momentum swings back with all the extra workers, that we're now really stuck with trying to afford like enough to defend this. I'm blaming some sort of pathing issue, I don't know. Maybe those mech destroyers coming out there, but there's a lot of forces at the door now from Risk. And it looks like he's going to take this one as he puts the pressure on here. More workers going down, never going to catch up the deficit. Taunt spammed at us by the Watchers as well, which is quite annoying. Trying to get some forces to take this fight from these mech destroyers, but another secret command center here by Risk. He likes to put these out on the edges of the map. Hide little parts of his eco. A couple of trades there, and it looks like he's having some pathing problems around this carbon processor. Might be cleaning that up there, but I do think we are just really behind. But I don't think Risk should have lost this army. I think, yeah, well, he does have more anyway. I would have thought he'd maybe just keep it in this position. In a position of strength, and he can bring these workers and get the forward down. And you can get a fortress here, and we're going to lose access to this Nova and this ore. That's going to feel really bad, and then he's encroaching on a command center and another command. It's like both of that's pretty much all the eco there as well. So it'd be a really good spot to get a fortress down. And maybe in the later game as well, you could put some buildings out here and cause some problems. You can see the fortress coming down now. I think you could even be a bit more ambitious and get it right up against the ore. Since he's got all these extra units on us. Upgrades aren't even. But there's just so many more mech destroyers here. Trying to harass the workers and still going up, but there it goes, the fortress is up now. Troop center in the power core, and if we look towards Risk, he is on his way to T4. He's got about 40 population on us here. That'll all be workers really. Now the force is running us down in the base here, killing off the mech destroyers. That's going to be a nice win here for Risk, I think. Showcasing a lot of aggression all game and just showing all the incremental advantages he's gained off of that. A really good 1v1 game now. So trying to run the workers to the side. And these troopers coming in now are going to tank a lot of shots from these mech destroyers and just make it feel even worse. And as I said, he's encroaching on the eco here. All these workers are trying to grab carbon up, because there's not really any carbon other than like these forward spots, other than over here. And we could see some troop centers and a power core thrown here when he gets the repeater troopers. And that'll cut off this area as well. Trying to get some artillery out. Trying to put up a good defense here. Second fortress now. And just kind of got the whole map under his control. You see, he might feel compelled to get like the second fortress down because he can grab up all the support. Cannon now, being T4. Still chatting away to these Watchers. What is this artillery doing? Look at these troops just walked up and they're one-tapping the mech destroyers here. Tanking a lot of shots here. The cannon, nothing can touch the cannons as they start killing off the buildings. Another fortress now up against the ore. Command center going down. I'm going to call GG there. Thanks for tuning into the video. Hope you've enjoyed it there. If you'd like, please subscribe to the channel. If you look down in the description of the videos here below, you will see we've got our GBG Discord. There's the Expanding Fronts Discord as well, if you're into that as well. Vuplay, where we play the games, and if you want to donate to the channel or help in some other way other than liking the videos and subscribing, you can buy me a coffee here using the PayPal link down below, and see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye bye.